Hi, we are at Hexagon Live 2014. My name is Fábio Yada and I'm the Hexagon Solutions Sales Manager responsible for Smart Modular Assembly. We have two special guests here today. Let me introduce Mr. Marcel Veldhuizen. He's the Intergraph PP&M Vice President of Business Development, specifically for the marine industry. Thank you, Marcel.
Hello, Fabio. Good to be here.
And Mr. José De Boni, he's the Project Manager of Hexagon Solutions, also responsible for the Smart Modular Assembly. De Boni, I will start with you.
Okay.
With the rapid growth of our nations and their economies, more and more big projects are being demanded. And we know that assembling large structures are a big challenge inside of these kind of projects. Could you explain a little bit to us the concept of Smart Modular Assembly?
Sure. Well, the idea is that big projects need a lot of tools, a lot of computerized tools to manage their data. It's common in our industry to manage engineering data along the development phases. But sometimes they lose track of some of this data. For instance, dimensions. When you go into construction, some dimensions go off limits, off right. So the idea is to bring this data into control also. With the help of measurement equipments and software, we can compare the actual data in the field with the data that designer made during design. So the idea is to bring together different tools from different companies aiming to the assembly. With the proper measurements, we can assure that the assembly will fit of these larger structures.
Excellent. Okay. Marcel, you have a great background and knowledge in the shipbuilding segment. How do you see Smart Modular Assembly to support big shipbuilding projects?
As you know, a lot of the yards around the globe need to be precise, measure things correctly so that they can save money. And we see more and more the yards focusing on quality management issues that are in that whole process. And Smart Modular Assembly is really helping the yards to be better and manage that more efficiently through the whole process. And that can be at any stage of the building process. And that's really one of the big benefits that I see with Smart Modular Assembly coming into play.
Excellent. Another question for you. We know that Intergraph PP&M already have a comprehensive portfolio to attend the marine industry. Tell us a little bit how Smart Modular Assembly can complete this portfolio and also a little bit more about the marine portfolio of PP&M, please.
Okay. So as you know, Fabio, Smart Yard is a concept that we developed as Intergraph, which consists of a lot of engineering modules, but we are branching off more into material management for SPMAT, construction with SPC, and a logical extension of that is smart production as well as the Smart Modular Assembly prospects, because where you see the synergy coming together at the whole process, where you manage everything. It's not just the data at engineering level, but also the data at the production level, at the quality that you need in order to ensure that your ship is delivered on time with the right materials as such. And with Smart Modular Assembly, you basically help the yards to be better managing the products, better managing the materials, and therefore saving money, saving time through other tools like Smart Plant Materials and Smart Plant Construction.
Very good. De Boni, we divided the solution in different models.
That's right.
Could you just give a brief explanation about the composition of the technologies that comprehends the Smart Modular Assembly, please?
Sure. We start with the designer model, where we define the main dimensions of the design of the structure. And we separate different parts of the structure in the designer model. Then we can focus on the construction model, on the assembly model that sees the design and its parts. You can control the materials and see when this material is ready for assembly.
Excellent.
The third and interesting model, a new model, is the inspection model, where you see the designer comparing with the construction. When this part was designed, what kind of dimension it should be. Now that it's constructed, what is their actual dimension? And then feeding back this information to the design. In order to feed back this information, we have a workflow module that ties together all these other parts into a comprehensive solution.
And the inspection model, we are also talking about the equipments, right? The total station, the laser scans, and everything.
Yeah, you are correct. We are not talking only about the software, but also with the equipment in order to get this information into the system.
Very good, very good. Beyond the shipbuild segment, we are also attending and prospecting other industries. Could you please tell us a little bit about the other industries that you are focusing?
Sure. We believe that shipbuilding is a great place to start because they deal with big structures. They do this separation of parts. It's kind of inside their DNA. But we see this kind of structure in all big engineering projects, like big dams, big stadiums, like the ones we are building in Brazil.
Mining.
Big bridges, and even mining. We have a customer that was building a large facility in mining and was concerned about the fixture of their structures into the mining field. So we did a pilot project that we can show in the zone, the results that everybody can go there and see. There's a very interesting results there.
Excellent. Okay. Marcel, in Brazil, we are facing a modular strategy for the construction.
Right.
Because several reasons, we have shipyards that are not ready yet, so some parts are being constructed outside and then brought to the main shipyard that all this integration will be done. Do you also see this kind of strategy in Asia Pacific, for example?
You see that a lot with the larger shipyards, that they outsource because they have more need of capacity than they actually have in-house. So you see that they subcontract that, then bring it together. You see this with projects in Australia quite a lot, that the design is done, for instance, in Japan, but all the fabrication is done in China, Malaysia, Indonesia, and then shipped all the way to Australia to do final assembly and construction. So it's a very common approach that we see in the industry.
So it's right to say that Smart Modular Assembly is reaching this strategy of construction worldwide?
Absolutely, because it really makes sure that when the things come together from all these different places, things fit as designed. Okay, excellent. And it's really helping the yards to make sure that the construction side is done very efficiently and on a timely fashion.
As a PPM Vice President, you have a good relationship with our development team. Tell us a little bit how Smart 3D or Smart Plant Construction are being customized to integrate the Smart Modular Assembly or Smart Yard solution.
So one of the key elements that you see is that at the modular boundaries, you already know a lot of these points that you want to measure. So we can give that from the engineering side right away to the construction people and saying, these are your key points to start measuring from. Then in construction, you could easily say there's a specific work pack to do this quality checks so that the people know what to do. You can give them all the information that's needed to execute their job, because a lot of it is related to the engineering side to start off with, because that's your reference model. Then when the people go to the field, they can do the actual calculations, they can do the actual measurement with the Hexagon tools, with the Leica tools, and then do the comparison, and they can do virtual assemblies, which is another key component because it makes it easier to put things together before you actually do it. This virtual assembly is really very powerful, because it helps the company again making corrections before at an easier spot than when it's too late and a lot of additional work is needed. So those are the things that I see helping the companies.
Excellent. Ebony, I would like to explore a little bit more about the inspection model.
Okay.
Could you please give us more details regarding the analysis tool and the virtual assembly process,
Sure.
and how we can use different locations of fabrication and have a single reference to match everything?
Okay. The secret behind the inspection module is a tool that can, a software tool that can get the data and fit the data into the designer part. Okay. That's, our software can do that. And once you do that, you can bring the data electronically into a single computer and compare the data that was measured in one site with the data that was measured with the other part in the other site. So it's easy to match these two things as they are electronically transferred, in order not with the actual transferring the part and then seeing that the things doesn't fit. Once you see that there's a clash or something that is not according to design, you can refurbish the part in the site and then transfer it correctly.
Excellent.
Okay.
Well, gentlemen, as Aristotle said, the whole is better than the sum of the parts. This is the Hexagon Solutions tool, and if you want to check more information, please access www.hexagon-solutions.com. Thank you very much.